Hello everyone, welcome to the Pooz Network. This is poozrfroope coming at you with another episode of Feed the Beast with something of a, I haven't actually done many tutorials, but I think I'm going to lay it down what needs to be done if you are using immersive engineering and you want to power a diesel generator. A diesel generator uses biodiesel and fuel. You get way more from fuel, but if you're going to use immersive engineering like units or other blocks, biodiesel is the way to what you can accomplish. So, in order to produce biodiesel, and you want to step up your power generation, which diesel generation generator is part of that process. I've built one. I've got it attached and supplied by biodiesel fuel. Here's my latch. Turn it on. I got a little battery stack here. It's almost completely full. Well, not quite. But yeah, I'm working on that. There's a reason why I'm gathering all the power here, and we'll go through that later. We'll show you that later. So, if you want to make this diesel generator have enough biodiesel fuel to last, you'll have to do a couple things. You'll have to make biodiesel. To make biodiesel, you need a refinery. The refinery takes ethanol and plant oil from both the fermenter and the industrial squeezer. The industrial squeezer produces plant oil from, and I'll show you that later, and the fermenter produces ethanol. Let's go back. Biodiesel. Okay, so in order to produce seed oil, it looks like here the best option is industrial hemp seeds, and there's reasons why it is not, and I'll go through that in a moment. I've chosen pumpkin seeds, and so that's kind of part of why. One of the reasons is Agricraft is one of the best ways to get a really highly efficient, highly productive per planted ground unit farming scenario. So I'm using Agricraft crop seeds. For the fermenting ethanol, you can use any of these. I went with melons, kind of just 'cause. You can grow a wheat plant to produce 4 wheats on harvest from Agricraft. Same thing with melons. Potatoes, sugarcane. You can produce the same kind of output. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have melons alongside pumpkins. Pumpkins is really the only reason why the only thing that needs to be explained. So, rather to do pumpkin seeds, you get 4 seeds from one pumpkin, and you only get 1 melon seed from a melon. So, and these are 1 unit each. So if I go and I have a 10-10-10 Agricraft seed of pumpkin and melon, I'm going to get 4 pumpkins and 4 melons. And from those 4 pumpkins, I'm going to get 4 seeds each. So, after you've taken your time and produced a lot high-end Agricraft seeds, what you're really looking for is growth 10 and gain 10. The strength is kind of a whole different thing. Strength is interesting, but it doesn't really, I don't usually play with it too much. It does come into play when I'm trying to transplant plants. So, but besides that, all you need to know is that the growth is 10. That means how fast it matures. And gain is 10, is that how much you get from it. These are being harvested, so I can't really well, I can show you. That, oh no, it was harvested before I can show you. I just clicked that. I got 4. Let me find one over around here before it gets harvested. So, because your field, see, I got 4. In order to equalize your output, you want an even input of pumpkin seeds and watermelons in order to produce biodiesel efficiently, because if you have too much of one, now it looks like I have too much ethanol. The truth is the buffer of 9,000 is actually that much, because the ethanol and the plant seed comes in at different rates. So the ethanol will like breathe like a big lung, and it'll drop and rise, because when I get a whole load of seeds on my side, it makes a really large influence. Let me go ahead and put these in. So there's 20 seeds and there's 5. So that's the difference of, and that'll make the plant oil go up and ethanol go up a little bit, and it's made into biodiesel, which I have directly piped into this fluid tank. So you want it to come out evenly, because if one of them fills up before the other, it only takes one seed to really mess up your system. So you want to make it equal. So you need to have 4 times more melon plants than you have pumpkins, or your field needs to be 1/5 pumpkins when your melons are 4/5. It means the same thing, but some people understand it better one way or the other. So pumpkins are to be 1/5, and melons 4/5, or your melons need to have 4 times more melons than you do pumpkins. So what I have harvesting here is the Mine Factory Reloaded Harvester. And what's good about that over other harvesting options is that it works very well with the harvesting. I don't need a planter, because all it's doing is harvesting from my my seed sticks, which I don't have to have it replanted. It's not getting replanted. You just you harvest it, and it starts off at a very low point and comes back. I have it powered. I have the conveyor belts going back. I have a system of wiring coming from the same side as. I don't want to collect. It doesn't really matter. So it goes all the way down. I'll show you where it goes. Let me throw those back in. Okay. So I have a chest on top. Well, I have a sludge boiler on top of this, so it deals with the sludge that is built up over time. And then I have a chest on top because the sludge boiler has a chance to produce some item from the sludge. And it's kind of random, but you might as well, have a place for it to collect and, utilize it later on. I might do something and I want one of this stuff. I just got poisoned because of the sludge boiler. That's why that's happening. But it's no big deal because I'm not hanging about over there too much. I do have plans to increase my field because my diesel generator eats more fuel than I can make right now. But that's a very easy thing to fix. I'm just going to upgrade the harvester mod, upgrade in here, from iron to something else and increase the size of the field. So this field is 80, so 1/5 of 80 is 16, while 4/5 of 80 is 64. And that's kind of what I got going on here. If I make my field 150, 30 is 1/5 and 120 is 4/5, and that's the ratio that you'll want. It's very important to have an even flow, and it's very important to have them be the same kind of seeds. Now I can have a field with 111s and it would have the same flow input, but I thought I would need a bigger space if I did that. So I increased the seeds, and it took some time, but it's really not that big a deal. I actually should have a tutorial on the fastest way to make your seeds grow, but I've actually figured that out because I've spent a lot of time figuring it out. So I'm gonna expand this and keep that harvester system going. Let me go inside and show you where that conveyor belt takes the pumpkins and the melons. I'm pretty happy about that. So I am feeding the squeezer and the fermenter from behind. A conveyor belt, if it brings the seeds or the melons to like a part of it in the back, then it just feeds it right in. So I think this is a pretty nifty situation here. I have the conveyor belt coming in, hitting the chest. It puts it in the chest. The hopper pulls it out of the chest and feeds it into the item router. I have pumpkins go to the south while the melons go to the east. There goes some melons. The pumpkins are fed into the assembler, which turns them into pumpkin seeds and pulls it out over here. So the melons will come around, go up to the fermenter, and the seeds will come into the assembler and pop out and go up, as you can see, up into the squeezer. Really happy with this system. The assembler needs power, and I just kind of routed it up behind the water tank. Not the water tank, the tank, which actually holds biodiesel. So this line here, the brown stuff's the biodiesel. It's less than half amount in the tank. So after all the stuff is fed into here, and you don't see it in here because it processes it automatically. If I didn't have as much buffers, you would see like seed oil here, and you'd see ethanol over here. See, it just processed and filled up here, but immediately it went right into the refinery and processed it. This ethanol is a little higher than I'd like, but it still falls within a range of an ebb and flow. If it's gaining, it's only gaining slightly, and it's only gaining slightly on a time base. It'll go down a good chunk because there's patterns how the fields are farmed. And because I haven't spread out the pumpkins, if I was smart about it, what I would do, because they have the same growth rate, is I would spread out the pumpkins evenly put in the field. Like I'd put a pumpkin all the way down. That'd be 9, and I'd need like 7 more, and so I'd put like 7 distributed out equally. Right now I have the pumpkins all in one chunk, and so they kind of get harvested all at once, and so that's when they get transformed into seeds and really pulls down that ethanol level, because 1 ethanol to 1 seed oil makes the biodiesel. So I have a little excess of ethanol, but that's kind of what's just going to happen. In order to even it out, I'm going to go in here and just grab some seeds, and just to make it a little bit of an even out, because I want to keep this ethanol level below the max here. Well, not the max, because it starts, I have plenty of buffering room, but I'd want it to be a little bit more equalized, and so I want the flow to like dip down to here and then go up and then dip down. Right now it's about mid, and it goes up and it dips down to mid again. That's kind of where it's at. So I'm really liking the system. What happens is I get a significant amount of biodiesel fuel, and I'm going to want to increase the rate. This thing could produce a lot faster. I just need more input, and so that's why I'm going to increase the fields. This biodiesel is pumped into this diesel generator, and it's kind of a pain in the butt, because what I'm doing is, if it was the refinery pumping it straight in here, I wouldn't need a redstone signal to put it in there. It just automatically comes out. But because I have it go straight into that tank, I needed to put that lever on that tank there in order to get the biodiesel to come out. So it comes out of there, and it comes all along here, and it's fed into here. So I turn that on, and I got this really noisy diesel generator going, but it looks absolutely awesome. And it's powering up these babies. I got the reason why I'm powering just batteries is, what I end up doing is I take the powered up batteries, and I have a use for them over here. So in Immersive Engineering, you can find core samples, and I finally found a core sample, which is a copper vein. And so this thing here is called the Excavator, and it uses energy so quickly. These 3 full HV capacitors will be sucked clean. The copper vein is copper, mostly copper, a little bit of gold, and a teeny bit of ferrous. So I get every now and then I'll get a shiny metal ore, shiny metal dust from the ferrous that gets in here. I have made a conveyor belt line that goes all the way to the crusher, the excavator. You can't really plan on where the excavator is going to be, because it's a hit and miss as to where you're going to find the vein. So after this vein is cleaned out, I'm likely just going to have to go find another vein, and then I need a better way to utilize the energy transfer over to the excavator, because it's not like, I've done this many times, and it doesn't, it doesn't clean it out in one go. So there's got to be a better way, and I'll figure that out more. But right now I'm really happy with bringing in biodiesel and using it and storing the energy and making use of the energy for right now. So I hope you like the system I have going on. In the near future, I'm going to make a... I know this is kind of like in the beginnings of immersive engineering, but I'm going to make it a completely automated like steel processing system in order to always make sure that I'm making steel when I can make steel, because making steel is more about time. It's like a resource of time that's happening rather than doing it manually. And so that excavator back there took so much steel, and I need to use my brain powers better in order to gather more steel more quickly. So there you have it. I made a little enchanting room hidden under here where I kind of connected with my little experience area. That's just a little quaint little hidden area. I know it's not that pretty around here, but I'm really just kind of focusing on and the reason why it's super ugly is that I spent some time really just drilling around for a better core sample. So that's why I have holes everywhere. But I hope you enjoyed the tutorial for setting up a really good Agricraft immersive engineering Mine Factory Reloaded biodiesel automated system. So you got to do the ratios like I said, and if you want to be really efficient and really space saving, you'll make your seeds as best as you can, like I did, the 10-10-10s. I say 10-10-10s because I don't know, it's not a perfect seed when it's not a 10-10-10, but the strength is less important. I also realized after testing this the system for a while that I actually do eventually pool more power than I generate with my wind system. Because there's a buffer, it doesn't look like it because there's energy stored up top, but I am slowly pulling energy out faster than I am generating it via wind system. And a lot of the reasons is that when I have this system rolling, these are always powered on and always have power going to them, and they're always using power. And that means that my assembly, the one that turns the pumpkins into pumpkin seeds, is always going, and that means the squeezer and fermenter are always running, and that means the refinery is always running. This thing isn't powered by it, obviously. It creates its own power, so it's its own generating system. But let's turn that noisy machine off. Hopefully next time you guys visit my videos, it'll be prettier in here, and I'll have more automated, steel production systems. And I'll find I'm happy that I found a vein, but a copper vein doesn't really do me all that. It's not all that beneficial. If you come over to my chest of all the dusts, I've been running it just to kind of see, to get into it, but I have so much copper dust now, so much gold dust, so much nickel dust, and I've actually lucky enough to get 11 shiny metal dusts that I can turn into that, because that's a really rare dust or ore that you can find. But I hope you enjoyed the setup. Yeah, and I'm gonna try and make a bigger field and produce more biofuel more quickly, and so I can just run this diesel generator. Because once it's done, like after these are done, powered up, these batteries, it'll just stop by itself. It's a really kind of smart machine. It doesn't like just keep running. Did you guys notice how that level went down after I added just a couple seeds? It's kind of like trimming it up better. I'd rather not be all the way down, because then the fluctuations would be not as good. I want there always to be a level of ethanol so that I can see the range of fluctuation. But you want that to come in nice and even. You want it to just kind of stay within a certain range, because that's just going to happen anyways. One of the choke points I have in my system is the speed in which the hopper pulls out items from the chest. That's one of the issues. It's not a big issue, it's just one of them. But there are plenty of downtimes anyways, so as long as it was continually shooting out stuff, we'd be good. So alright guys, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you later.